Okay, hi everyone. Today we're going to do Raffles Primary School Prelim Examination 2024 Mathematics Paper 2. For the first question, it's a bar graph question. During which 2 hour interval was there the most volume of water evaporated? First, we count the number of gaps from 0 to 20. So after counting, there are 5 gaps. 5 gaps is equal to 20 milliliters. So one gap would be 20 divided by 5, 4 ml. At 9 o'clock is 0. At 11 o'clock, there are 2 gaps, so it's 8. For 13 hours, 1 o'clock, it's 1 gap below 40, so 40 minus 4 is 36. For 15 hour, 3 p.m., it's 1 gap above 80, so 80 plus 4, it's 84. For 17 hours, 5 p.m., it's 120 ml. So during which 2 hour interval was there the most volume of water evaporated? From 9 to 11, it's 8. From 13 to 11, be minus 36 minus 8 is 28. So 28 ml of water evaporated, and there goes 15 hour. From 13 hours to 15 hours, there'll be 84 minus 36 and 48. And for 15 hour to 17 hour, there'll be 120 minus 84, which is 36. So you can see that 48 ml is the most volume of water evaporated. That will be from 13 hour to 15 hours. So move on to part B. What was the total volume of water that evaporated from 11 hour to 15 hour? We just need to take 84 minus 8. 84 minus 8. And that gives you 76 ml. Okay, we're done with question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Okay, the table shows the number of books borrowed from the library by 4 friends in a month. Cal borrowed half of the total number of books borrowed by his friends. So Cal borrowed half. Half is 1 out of 2. That means that Cal borrowed 1 unit, while the rest of his friends together borrowed 2 units. So we can write a ratio for this. Cal is to 3 of his friends. That'll be 1 is to 2. 1 to 2. 1 unit is 30 books as written in the table. Cal is 30 books, so 1 unit 30. 2 units is 60. 30 times 2, 60. 60 books were borrowed by Amanda, Bala, and Dewi. Now we need to find the number of books borrowed by Dewi. We just have to simply 60 minus away 5 minus away 6, which are the number of books borrowed by Amanda and Bala. And we get 49. Question 3. A car and a taxi travel from point A to point B. Draw a timeline A to B. And for each of the vehicles, we draw it on top as well as at the bottom respectively. We know that they are traveling in the same direction, so the arrow can be towards B. The car started at 8 a.m. We just mark it down by the side. The car traveled at 90 km per hour, whereas the taxi traveled at 75 km per hour. We know that at 8 a.m. the taxi was 7.5 kilometers ahead already. That means the taxi started first. Okay, so we mark down the respective speeds. First, in order for the car to catch up with the taxi, the car has to travel faster. And we know that the car is 90 km per hour and the taxi is 75 km per hour. We want to know the difference. We want to know how fast the car is traveling, how much faster than the taxi every hour. So 90 minus 75, 15, that's the difference in the speed, 50 km per hour. So every hour the car can travel 15 kilometers faster. So since the taxi is already 7.5 km ahead, we just need to simply use the formula DST. So in order to find the time, we just need to use distance divided by the speed. The distance, which is 7.5 km, divided by the difference in the speed, 15 km per hour, we will know that the car will need half an hour to catch up that 7.5 km with the taxi. Half an hour. And the question was asking, at what time did the car and taxi pass each other? So since the car started traveling at 8 a.m., half an hour later, that will be 8:30 a.m. Okay, let's move on to question 4. The pupils at a camp are divided into group A and group B. 3/8 of the pupils in group A are girls, whereas 1/6 of the pupils in group B are girls. So we can write down 2 separate ratios for group B and group A. Group A, they say that 3 out of 8 of the pupils are girls. So the girls will take up 3 units, whereas the boys will be a total 8 minus away 3 units of girls. That'll be 5 units of boys. That'll be for group A. Whereas for group B, 1 out of 6 of the pupils are girls. So the girls would be 1 unit, whereas the boys will be a total 6 units minus away 1 unit. So 6 minus 1, we get 5 units. The next sentence says that there are 3 times as many pupils in group B as in group A. So group B should have 3 times the total, 3 times of group A. So now let's find out the total, which is the 8 and the 6, which is the denominators of the 2 fractions given in the question. Now, group B needs to have 3 times, and group A already has 8 units. So 3 times of 8, that will be 24. So don't worry, all these are ratio. These are not absolute numbers. They don't really have 24 pupils. These are just ratio. These are just fractions. So in order for group B to have a total of 24, the whole ratio we have to times 4. That gives us the new ratio. There are more girls in group A than group B. The number of girls in group A is 3 units. The number of girls in group B is 4 units. So that's 4. So actually more girls in group B than group A. Now the total number of boys in both groups are in multiples of 5. Yes, that's correct, because boys in group A is 5, whereas boys in group B is 20. They're all multiples of 5. There are 32 pupils in the camp. We don't know exactly how many pupils there are because all the information given to us are in forms of fractions. So that's not possible to tell. Alright, for this question. For the next question, question 5. Athena walked directly from point B to point D in a straight line. So point B to point D, that is southeast. So when we mark the campus, make sure that the W and E forms the word we. Now, Kok Ming stood at one of the points facing H. After he turned 45 degrees, he faced C. So we need to check if he's facing H. If he's at point D, facing H, let's use a different color. If he's at point D, facing H, and if he were to turn 45 degrees, he should be facing B. So now, we need to take note that the question says that he turned 45 degrees, but it doesn't matter whether he turns anti-clockwise or clockwise. Now, D's out, let's try F. If he was facing H, and he were to turn 45 degrees, okay, yes, if he turns 45 degrees clockwise, he'll be facing C. So F is one of the possible points. Next, let's take a look at G. If he was standing at G facing H 45 degrees, he should be not facing any point actually. Now, if he was standing at J facing H, and if he were to turn 45 degrees, not facing any point either. Okay, so J is out. Let's take a look at A. A was facing H, and if A were to turn 45 degrees anti-clockwise, yeah, he can face C. Okay, last one. If he was standing at point B, facing H, and if he were to turn 45 degrees anti-clockwise, the max is just facing D, not C. So the possible points are A and F. 6 is an algebra question. So there's a table stating the salary Sumi was paid for working at a cafe. Sumi worked from Monday to Saturday for her first week. What was the total salary for the first week in terms of M? So we have to take note that this is per day. So Monday to Friday, 3M multiplied by 5. That will give you 15M. Okay, just multiply the numbers together will do. But let's not forget about Saturday. So 15M plus 5M plus 8. So take note when you're doing the number statements, if you want to write the units, you have to write units for everything. So 15M plus 5M, they're of the same family, so we add them together. Why they're of the same family is because both has the M, so 8 just remains. So this is the amount that she earns from Monday to Saturday for her first week. So we only work on Saturday and Sunday in the second week. She was paid a total amount of $240 for both days. Find value of M. So it's just Saturday and Sunday, so let's just add them together first. 5M plus 8 plus 4M minus 2. Okay, so let's circle all those that belong to the same family together. The plus minus divide times goes with the number that's on its right. So for example, 8 and plus, we have to circle together, that's the same family. 4M. Okay, so 4M is actually positive plus 4M, but the plus is all the way in front. So we take it as if there's no plus minus that is being circled together, it's just positive, it's just plus. Then let's circle 2 with the minus sign in front. So let's do those in the same family first. 5M plus 4M, because we assume that there's a plus sign in front of 4, but there's no negative sign circled together with it. So that would be 9M. 8 plus 8 minus 2. So it's just 8 minus 2, which is 6. So is it positive 6 or is it negative 6? It goes with, it's something like a number line whereby you are at 8 and then you go back minus 2 minus, go back 2 steps. So you're at 6. So since this is positive 8, this is also positive 6 because it hasn't go past the 0 yet. So it's plus 6. So let's complete the unit. Okay, I'll erase this for now. Okay, so we know that 9M plus 6 is equivalent to $240. So 9M plus 6 equals to $240. So for those who can't visualize it, you can see as the 9 units plus the $6. The total is $240. So how do we find 1M? How do we find this? So what we can do is 240 minus 6. That will be 234. 234 divided by 9 because there are 9 boxes over there. And that's equals to 26. So M is 26. So we do not need to put unit for this question. It's because they ask for the value of M. So for example, they only ask for what is M. They're not asking for M dollars. The value of M is 26. If I put the 26 in front of the dollar sign, that will be $26. Okay, so we get it. Okay. Moving on to question 7. The average height of 3 plants is 150 cm. We can find the total. Plant A is twice as tall as plant B. Plant C is 0.65 meters shorter than plant A. So usually when I see shorter than, taller than, more than, less than, we can draw a model to help us visualize it. So plant A is twice as tall as plant B. So A is twice, A is 2 units, B will be 1. Plant C is 0.65 meters shorter than plant A. So actually we can draw plant C above A so that we can visualize better. So C is shorter than A, but we're not sure exactly how much it's shorter by. So we don't want to assume that C is 1 unit like B. We don't want to do that. So we only know that it's 0.65 meters shorter than A. So we just draw something that is a little bit shorter than A. And this is the portion, we jot it down. This is the part that's 0.65 meter. So together, that is, we need to find the total, right? Average height is 0.105, so 105 times 3, that will give you 315. So, and this is cm, and that is meter, so we must be careful. If we want to deal with meter, then we change everything to meter. If we want to deal with cm, we change everything to cm, and it's easier to change to cm. It's equals to 0.65 times 100, because 1 meter is equals to 100 cm. You know, we change from meter to cm, we multiply by 100. So, and that would be decimal point moving on to 2 steps, because there are 2 zeros. So that will give us 65. Of course, you can use a calculator as well. Okay, so the total is 315 cm. Oops, forgot to write cm over here. As I said before, if you want to write a unit, you have to write a unit for everything in that number statement. Okay, so one way that we can do it, we want to find the height of plant C. We know the total. And we want to find the plant C. One way we can do it is we minus 0.65 from here, as well as from here, as well as from here, because they are the same units. And if that unit has 0.65, then all should have 0.65. But that's a bit taking a long way. So a shorter way would be to add 65 to 315. So we assume that C has this portion. If C has this portion, then it would nicely be 2 units. And that would give us 5 units in total. Okay, so 315 plus 65, that will give you 380. So we are as if giving 65 cm to plant C, so that it's of the same height as plant A. So if we do that, plant C would be 2 units, plant A would be 2 units, and plant B would be 1 unit. In total, that will be 5 units. So 5 units, that's 380. Let's find 1 unit. That is 76. So just now we assume that C has 2 units, so let's find 2 units. double check with my calculator. Hopefully, there should be a 2. Okay, but plan C does not have that 65 cm, so we have to minus that off. That gives you 87. So 87 cm, or you can write 0.87 meter. Both should be acceptable because they did not specify to give the height in meters or in centimeters. So question 8 is an angles question, and the piece of paper is folded. So we must always remember that if the questions involve some kind of folding, we have to unfold it. And take note, all the angles that is at the corner of the papers are supposed to be 90 degrees. So over here, they've already drawn one because we forgot to erase. Here is 90 degrees. So if you unfold it, this portion will be actually over here, 90, and this part is also 90. And take note that when you're folding and unfolding, the angles that you folded and the other angle that is formed should be exactly the same. So this and this should be exactly the same. Okay, so this is also 64 degree. These are all 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree. Okay, and we know that actually four-sided figures add up to 360 degree. Four-sided figures will add up to 360 degree. So one way that we can find this angle, it would be 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 64. But let's see, what does the question want us to find? FEH. Okay, so let's continue to label the rest of the 90 degree. Okay, so that's a very nice triangle over there, this one. So we can actually find this angle as well. So that would be, so like I say, okay, sure, let's find that first. Find 80 minus 90 minus 45, that will give you 45. That's an isosceles triangle. Okay, and remember the part that you folded and the part that is initially there should be exactly the same, because that angle was initially over here. So they should be exactly the same. So we can see that this angle is actually 90 degrees as well. So there's another rule that gives us that, which is the Z rule. So this angle is exactly the same as this angle. Okay, then let's move on to find other angles now. Okay, and we can find this angle over here, because one straight line is 180 degrees minus 64 minus 64. That will give you 52. So this angle here is 52 degrees. Technically, we can also use the Z rule to find 8. But there's another rule that you can use as well, which is the U rule. Okay, because we know that this is 90 degrees, so this is actually parallel to this. It folded nicely over there to form a square. It forms a square. So this line is actually parallel to that line. So the U rule, with the U rule, you know that the two angles that's in between, for example, like this, the two angles that are in between will add up to 180 degrees. So 1 is 0 minus 52, that will give you 128. And we know the H is actually 128. This is 128 degrees. Okay, with that, we're able to find this one, because one full circle is 360. So 360 minus 128 minus 90 minus 90, that will give you 52. So this part here is 52 degrees. In order to find the shaded one, there's a triangle over there. So we just have to use 180 minus 52 minus 90. And that gives you 38 degrees. Alright, for question 9. Figure 1 shows a rectangular wooden plank of length 0.3 meter. A carpenter used a number of such identical rectangular wooden planks to cover the floor of a square room. Okay, so the wooden plank of length 0.3 meter, we need to know what is the breadth. The figure 2 shows part of the arrangement. So this arrangement is to tell us that actually 3 of the breadth forms one length. So in order to find one breadth, we just need to use 0.3 divided by 3. That gives you 0.1. And to find the area of one plank, 0.3 multiplied by 0.1, that will give you 0.03. And we do not need to know exactly how the arrangements are like, but we really know that the total number of planks that he used is 108. So in order to find the area, we just need to use 0.03 multiplied by 108. And that gives you 3.24. And the unit, it shall be 3.24 meters square. Okay, let's move on to question 10. This writer spent 1/3 of the money on a bag and 2 identical belts. The bag cost twice as much as each belt. Mrs. Ryder spent 3/3 of her remaining money. So this 1/3 is of her money, total amount of money, whereas 3/4 was part of her remaining money. So they're actually not part of the same thing. 1/3 is part of the whole entire money, whereas 3/4 is part of just the remaining after she has spent on a bag and 2 belts. So this it's part whole. This question is part whole with remainder. So the best way to do this kind of question is to write out the ratios, write out the units for each part. For example, so let's start with 1/3. We have bag plus 2 belts is to the remaining. Because after she spent on the bag and the 2 belts, that's the remaining amount of money, remaining money. So we know that the bag and 2 belts is 1 unit. The remaining, must take note, the remaining is not the total. The total is 3, but the remaining is 3 minus 1, 2. Okay? Then let's split, because they say that the bag costs twice as much. So I have a bag here. I have leave some space up there, belt here, because the ratio of 1:2 might need to multiply into bigger multiples later on. That's the belt. Okay, we know that the bag costs twice, so 2 units, and the belt is 1 unit, 1 unit. So as we can see, the bottom adds up to 4, but the top is just 1. They should be the same, since both levels represent 1 bag and 2 belts. So how do we make it the same? We need to change 1 unit to 4. So we have to change this to 4. And how do we do that? We multiply by 4. And we have to be fair for both sides, multiply by 4. Okay, so after we multiply, we don't look at the initial ratio anymore. Alright? Okay, then let's move on to the next portion. Mrs. Raja spent 3/4 of the remaining money on the shirt. So for the remaining, there's a portion that she spent on the shirt and the money that she has left. From here, we know that the shirt is 3 units. And the left will be 4 minus 3, 1. So 3 plus 1 gives you 4, but the top is an 8. So we need to make it the same. In order for 4 to become 8, we have to multiply by 2. And we ignore the initial ratio. Alright, so this ratio looks great now. Next sentence. She spent $58 more on the shirt than the bag. The shirt is 6 units, the bag is 2 units. So 6 minus 2, 4. This 4 unit would be the $58. And 1 unit would be 58 divided by 4. That gives you $14.50. How much money did Mrs. Roger have at first? At first would be the entire total thing over here. 4 plus 8, that would be 12 units. So 12 units would be $14.50 times 12. $174. And that's the final answer, $174. Alright, moving on to the next question, question 11. Amina and Serene had the same number of coins. They each had a mix of 20-cent coins and 50-cent coins. So Amina had some 20-cent coins and 50-cent coins, while Serene also had some 20-cent coins and 50-cent coins. But they had the same number of coins. Amina had 12 20-cent coins, while Serene had 20 20-cent coins. So just imagine like Amina, Serene. Amina has 12 20-cent coins, whereas Serene has one more. There's 20 of them. Okay, but let's not forget, they eventually have the same number of coins, which means that the rest of the coins that Amina has are 50-cent coins. Whereas the rest of the coins over here, Serene has also 50-cent coins, but you can see that Amina has more 50-cent coins than Serene. So in comparison, this is the portion whereby Amina would have more money than Serene, because whatever number of coins over here, they're all 50 cents, whereas whatever number of coins over here, they're all 20 cents. Okay, and we know that this is, the number of coins over here is 20 minus 12, 8 coins. So who had more money? Amina. And how much more? We don't need to know. Okay, of course, one way to do it, it would be 8 times 50 cents and 8 times 20 cents and find the difference. That's one way, okay? Let me show you these two methods. So method number 1, which is to find all the 50-cent coins over there. 8 times 50 cents, that will give you $4. And 8 times 20 cents, that will give you $1.60. So the difference would be $1.60. $4 minus $1.60, which is equal to $2.40. So another way to do it would be to find the difference between each coin. The difference, which is 50 cents minus 20 cents, that will give you 30 cents. And we know that there are 8 coins. So each of them is 30 cents more, each of them is 30 cents more, the 8 of them. So 8 times 30 cents, that will give you $2.40. The answer is the same, it's one step shorter. So up to your preference, the final answer should be the same. Serene spent all her 20-cent coins. How much must Amina give to Serene so that they have the same amount of money? So the 50-cent coins remains the same, so we don't need to care about this. Serene spent all her 20-cent coins. Okay, so that would be 20 cents multiplied by 20. That would be $4. Okay, and let's find the total amount that Amina has. 20 cents multiplied by 12. That's $2.40. But let's not forget, she has 50 cents as well. So 50 cents times 8, which we've done it just now, is $4. So $4 plus 240. Oops. $4 plus 240. That would be $6.40. Actually, it seems like we do not have to do the first step. We do not need to know Serene spent the total of $4, because ultimately Serene spent everything over here. Okay, so in order for them to be exactly the same, I'm going to just have to give half of whatever that is over here. Half of it, which is 640 divided by 2, 320. So Amina does not have to touch her 50-cent coins, because Serene also have those 50-cent coins. So this side is already the same. And Serene spends all the 20-cent coins. So in order for them to be exactly the same, Amina just have to give half of what she has over here. Half of it, which is 640 divided by 2, $3.20. Question 12 is another English question. A, B, E, G, this one is a rhombus. So all rhombuses have equal sides. And to draw this little ticks, it looks like whiskers. So I call it whiskers to remind us that those lines are equal. Okay, so ABEG is a rhombus and CDEF is another rhombus, but we must differentiate the ticks. So we put double ticks for this. Okay, and since they are rhombuses, each rhombus is made up of two isosceles triangles. And over here, this 72 degrees is by far the only angles that we have, so we have to fully utilize it to solve this question. So since this is an isosceles triangle, we can use 180 minus 72 and divide by 2, since these two angles would be the same. That would be 54. Okay, so this is 54 degree, this is 54 degree, this is also 54 degree, and this is also 54 degree. And we find a straight line over here. So we are able to find, let's also just label that this is 72 degrees. So in a rhombus, the two isosceles triangles are mirror image of each other. So if this is 72, this is also 72. Okay, so with that, we can actually find this angle, let me use blue for this angle, as well as this angle. So let's find the first one first. We need to find AGE. This is our aim for now. Okay, so 180 minus 72. Okay, this is 108. No, this is 108 degree. Okay, and we can find the other side, minus 54, 126, 126 degrees over here. And if we extend this, okay, so you have to be with me, right? So let's take a look at this part here, huh? Okay, so let's find this angle first. Okay, this angle over here, sorry, this angle over here. Okay, so 180 minus 54 minus 54, that's 72, which is actually the same as this 72 over here. And why it is the same? This is not magic, but this is a rule actually. This rule is called the F rule. Okay, so if there are two parallel lines, these two angles will be the same. Okay, these two angles will be the same if this is parallel. So we know that that's 72, and with that, you can actually see that this and this is parallel as well. So this angle over here is actually equal to this angle over here. So we just need to use 54 plus 72, 126. Double check. Yes, 126 degrees is the answer for this, AGE. Okay, let me clear up the diagram a little bit before I move on to the next portion. Okay, the next part, they are asking for AHC. AHC, which is the angle that is over here. Let me use purple for this. Okay, over here, AHC. Okay, and since we now know that this portion here is 126 degree, which is the same as that one over there, let me clear this up a little bit. This is also 126, because remember, isosceles, a rhombus is now two isosceles triangles, right? Okay, then we know that this portion here is 126 just now because of this limit here. Okay, and we need to find out what is this. Okay, in order to do that, because it's an isosceles triangle, we just need to use 180 minus 126 divided by 2, and we know the corner, which is 27. Okay, we're almost there. 27 degrees. So in order to know this purple angle over here, it's a four-sided figure. This is a four-sided figure. So one easy way to do it is 360 minus away those three angles over there. 126, 126, 27. That gives you 81 degrees. Okay, so another way to do it would be to know that this angle here is actually equal to 27 degrees. Okay, and you will be able to find this angle because it's a triangle. Okay, and after finding that angle, you just need to use 180 minus that angle, and it will give you the purple angle. It's the same. I can do it for you to show you that it's the same answer. 180 minus 54 minus 27. That gives you 99. Okay, so if this angle is 99 degrees, to find the purple angle, minus away 99, that gives you 81. So it's the same, 81 degrees. So a shortcut that we can do is actually, if I have an angle that's outside, this angle is actually the addition of these two angles. Okay, so let's give an example. Okay, this is 120, this is 60, and these two have to be 180 minus 60, which is 120. So these two angles add up to be 120. So for this question here, 54 plus 27 would give you 81 as well. 54 plus 27 will give you 81 as well. So there are many ways of finding the correct answer, the one and only answer for angles question. Okay, for question 13, the table shows the printing rate of 4 printers. The rate for printer D is not shown. Right, the pie chart shows the total number of posters printed by each of the printers on a particular day. All the printers printed for 6 hours, except for printer C, which broke down after some time. What percentage of the posters were printed by printer B? Okay, C broke down some time. A, for 6 hours. Okay, so for 6 hours, A didn't break down. We can find printer A. 6 multiplied by 50, that would be 300. Okay, and this is 25%. Okay, printer C was the one which broke down. So printer B would be 6 multiplied by 60. That will be 360. Okay, actually we know the percentage over here. So 25%, it's actually 300. Okay, if we swap it around, 300 is equal to 25%. Okay, and remember our ultimate goal is 360. We know that both 300 and 360 have a common factor of 60. A very big one, but the common factor is 60. So let's find 60. It's divided by 5. So we know that 25% divided by 5, that's 5%. So every 60 posters is actually equivalent to 5%. 360, that would be multiplied by 6. Okay, that would be 5% multiplied by 6, 30%. So printer B printed 30% of the posters. Okay, I mean, of course, we can use another way to do this, which is since 300, okay, so let me take this portion, okay? So 25% is 300. You can, of course, go and find 1%, which is 300 divided by 25, that will give you 12. And we use the total 360 divided by 12, that should give you the percentage of 30% as well. So this way is a little bit faster if you can understand how it goes. All right, let's move on to the next question. How many hours did printer C print before breaking down? So now we know that printer B is 30%. So we can add up all the percentages that we know now. 35 plus 25 plus 30, that will give you 90%, which means that printer C only printed 10%, right? 100% minus 90 is only 10%. From just now, we know that 1% is 12 pages. So 10%, that would be 12 times 10, which is 120. From the table, we know that printer C prints 80 posters per hour. So 120 divided by 80. The answer is 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. So out of the 6 hours, printer C only printed for 1.5 hours. Okay, moving on to question 12. Question 14 is a patterns question. If you look at this table over here, so this is the pattern that we're supposed to look at to figure out like how the pattern is formed. So it gives us an idea of how we can quickly find whatever numbers that is required. They give us 3 columns. Row number over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, first number in the row for this, 1, 2, 5, 10, and the last number in the row, 1, 4, 9, 16. So these numbers are numbers that you should quickly identify because they are square numbers. It's formed by 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. So that's easy, right? 5 times 5, so this will be 25. Okay, then the next one. Two ways to go about it. This is plus 1, this is plus 3, this is plus 5. They are all the odd numbers, so we know that the next one will be plus 7, and this will be 17. Okay, so part A is done, 17, 25. So find the first number in row 10. What we can do, first method, will be 17 plus 9, so this is 6. Row number 6, plus 11, row number 7, plus 13, row number 8, write it down for you, plus 15, row number 9, plus 17, row number 10. So if we add everything together, that will give us the first number in row 10. Okay, 82. So what's the second method to go about this? Okay, if you can see over here, in order for 4 to become 2, it's minus 2. In order for 9 to become 5, it's minus 4. Minus 6, minus 8. So it's in the multiples of 2. Okay, the first row doesn't count, that's the odd one out. So the subsequent will be minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8. And how does this come about? How does the 2 come about? How do you know what's minus? So that will be 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. The numbers over here is always 1 smaller than the row number. It's always 1 number smaller than the row number. Okay, so in order to quickly find it, we can find the last number in the row first. We know that row 10, it will just be 10 times 10. Okay, so that will be 10 times 10, this is method 2, okay? 10 times 10, which gives you 100. And in order to know what to minus, it's 2 multiplied by 9. Why 9? It's because it's 1 smaller than the row number. Okay, we know that it's 18. So 100 minus 18, that gives you 82, right? So this is another way of finding the same answer, the one and only correct answer. Now we want the average of the numbers in row 10. Okay, average numbers in row 10. We know that the last number is 100, and we know that the first number is 82. Okay, there's 82 over here, and 10 times 10, 100, 100 over here. And average of the numbers, that means all the numbers set together. Okay, so what's the easy way to, the foolproof way to do it would be to add everything together. Okay, I'll show you both methods, alright? Okay, luckily it's not too long. Okay, now I'm regretting this. Okay, oh, this is so many numbers. Oh my god. Okay, of course one way is to type everything into the calculator, and the calculator will give you the answer, and that's provided that you don't key any numbers wrongly. Another way to do it is find how many numbers there are. From 82 to 100, how many numbers are there? One way to find out it would be to use 100 minus 82, that would be 18. 18 plus 1. There are 19 numbers. Okay, that's because 100 minus 82, I get all the 18 numbers from here, but I need to still plus 1 for the original number. So for example, I want to know how many numbers are there from 82 to 83. 83 minus 82 is 1, but there are 2 numbers, so we always have to plus 1. Okay, always have to plus 1. All right, so we take this. There are 19 numbers. Okay, so 19 is not an even number. We try to make it even so that we form pairs of the numbers. Okay, so I will ignore this first. I'll ignore this first. 82, the very first number plus the very last number. 82 plus 99. It gives you 181. Okay, let's say if we add 83 and 98, that also gives you 181. So how many pairs are there? So remember there were 19 numbers. 19, I minus away one number because I don't want to count 100. If we include 100, it will be odd. There will be 19 numbers, it's odd. I can't form pairs. So there are 18 numbers. 18, I divide by 2 numbers, I get 9 pairs. So this and this is one pair. This and this is another pair. This and this is another pair. So there will be a total of 9 pairs. Okay, I mean, of course, I can grade out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pairs. And these 9 pairs add up to 181. So 9 times 181 gives you 1629. All right, 1629, you have to add 100. 1729. Okay, 1729. That's not the final answer because the question is asking for average. Okay, so there are a total of 19 numbers, remember. Okay, sorry, I'm running out of space over here, so I'll just write over here. Okay, the total of all the numbers is 1729, and there are a total of 19 numbers, so the average would be 91. Okay, so let me repeat. There are 2 ways to find this. One is the foolproof way, which is to take 82 plus all of these numbers, key all of these numbers into the calculators, and then divide by the number of numbers, which is 19 numbers, and you'll still get 91. This method that I'm teaching you over here saves you some time if you know how to do it, which is to get the even numbers of all the numbers, 18 numbers, find out what is the sum of each pair. You can take the first number and very last number, you add together, and the second number plus the second last number add together, they should be the same. They should add up to be the same, and use the total, the sum of each pair multiplied by the number of pairs. And don't forget to add that 100 which you have left out just now. You'll get a total of 1729. And divide by 19 numbers, you will get an average of 91. Okay, moving on to question 15. Megan had some lilies and carnations after she sold 75%, which is 3/4. So how do I get 3/4 is 75%, 75 of 100. You simplify it, divide by 25 for the numerator and denominator, so you get 3 out of 4. Okay. After she sold some lilies and 1/5 of the carnations, so we can write out the ratio of the 2 different types of flowers. So sold and left. Okay, sold 3 units and left with 1 because 4 sold 3, left with 1. And for carnation, she sold 1, 5 sold 1, left with 4. She had an equal number of lilies and carnations as opposed as whatever is left equal. But the left over here is not equal. We must make them equal. So in order to do that, I need to multiply by 4. 12 is the 4. Okay, so what was the ratio of the number of lilies to the number of carnations Megan had at first? So they needed a total. This is at first. At first means total before selling, you see? Okay, so together, lilies would be 12 plus 4, 16, whereas carnations would be 1 plus 4, 5. So the ratio would be 16 is to 5. Moving on, the number of lilies Megan had at first was more than 90. The number of lilies that Megan had at first is more than 90. So the total, remember, is 16. At first means total. Lilies, we take a look at this. Okay, more than 90. What's the smallest possible number of flowers Megan had at first? More than 90, but must be divisible by 16. So we need to write out the multiples of 16. Okay, 16, 32. Need to get the help of the calculator. 48, 64, 80, getting there, 96. So more than 90, yeah, this is more than 90. This is the smallest multiple of 16 that is more than 90. So 96 shall be it. Smallest possible number of flowers Megan had at first, which means the total. Okay, so this is the total number of lilies. Total number of lilies, so 16 unit is 96. 1 unit would be 96 divided by 16, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, I mean 96 divided by 16, you begin the calculator, you will still get 6. Okay, and flowers, which means carnations plus lilies. So the total number of units would be 16 plus 5 is 21. 21 unit would be 6 multiplied by 21. 126. Okay, so the total smallest possible number of flowers Megan had at first, or in total, is 126. Question 16 is a volume question. Okay, figure 1 shows the amount of water in rectangular tank P at first. So not full, only up to 24 cm. Rush poured 1/3 of the water from tank P into tank Q. Figure 2 shows the amount of water in tank Q in the end. So I need to find what is 1/3 of the water from tank P. So one shortcut we can do is to multiply by height times length times breadth. Okay. So punch in your calculator. 24 times 20 times 18 divided by 3. Okay. So 2880. This is the amount of water that got poured from P to Q. If I just do this portion, that would be the amount of water in 10P. I added a fraction of 1/3, so 2880 would be the amount of water that got poured in from P to Q. In order to know what is that increase in height, I need to use that volume, divide by the length and the breadth. So 2880 divided by 25, divide by 16. I'll get 7.2. Okay, so because of that pouring, 10Q's height increased by 7.2. So what was the height of the water in 10Q at first? 16.2 minus 7.2, which gives you 9. Okay, so 9 cm. What was the percentage increase in the volume of water in 10Q? So in order to find percentage increase, I need to find what is the initial volume of water in 10Q. Now I'm going to show you two methods to find this. One is the foolproof method of finding the volume. Okay, so 10Q initial volume, the initial height is 9, so I use 9 times the length and breadth. Initial 9 times 25 times 16, right? 16. Okay, I'll get 3600. The increase in the volume. So to find percentage increase, 100%. Okay, this must be the original or the initial. Okay, and this would be the increase. If the question is asking for decrease, then this part would be the decrease. Okay, the increase would be 2880 because 2880 was put in, right? The very initial is 3600. So 2880 divided by that, it would be times 100%, it would be 80%. Okay, so 80%. But there's another method that you can use. So this is method number 1. Okay, the increase in volume would only result in the increase in height. Okay, so another way that we can do it is, as usual, this is original, but original height. What's the original height? It's 9. Okay, what is the increase in height? The increase in height is 7.2. So if you punch into the calculator, you will still get 80%. Okay, so this is method number 2. So method number 1, we focus on finding out the volumes. Method number 2, we just remember that the only thing that will change when we pour any form of liquid into a container is the height. Okay, we're approaching the very last question. It's obviously a question related to circles. So it requires finding of area. Oops. It requires the finding of area as well as perimeter. So let's write out the formulas that we need to remember. Area, that will be pi times r. And for the circumference, it will be pi times d. Okay, so these are the two formulas that you have to remember for circles. Okay, first question, part A. Find the area of the shaded figure. Okay, so firstly, we can see that there are a semicircle here and a semicircle over here. Okay, so it's a 1-mark question. Some students might go and find the area of this quadrant, minus away the area of this semicircle, and then find the area of these semicircles and plus this portion and that portion together. But if you realize, we just have to cut and paste. You just have to cut this portion here and paste it over here, and it will be a perfect quadrant. You only need to find the area of that quadrant. All right, but they give us diameter, right? We need to find the radius. So in order to find the radius, 28 divided by 2, that's 14. Okay, so area of quadrant. So I'm always mindful of writing like quadrant, semicircle, circle. That's because it's very important to put the 1/4 in there first. We're only finding area of a quadrant, 1/4 of a circle. Okay, some students might happily find area of a circle and try to answer forgetting to divide by 4. So times pi, which is 22 out of 7, is written here, times r, which is 14. Okay, so when 22 out of 7 is given, usually I will use some mental sum, and we realize that it's 11 times 14, so it's 154. Okay, I mean, alternatively, you can key in the whole thing into a calculator. 1/4 times 22 out of 7 times 14 times 14. So because I want it to be a little bit quicker. Okay, so that would be cm squared for area. Perimeter of the shaded figure. Okay, let me clean up the diagram before we find the perimeter. All right, perimeter means the outline, every single line that's outside. So we have to find this line, and this line. So we can actually find this line and this line together by treating it as a full circle. Okay, by treating it as a full circle. So circumference of smaller circle. That would be pi times d, and the pi is 22 out of 7 times the diameter, which is 28. Okay, let me erase this just to avoid confusion. So 22 times 4 is 88. Now we have to find, so we have successfully found this and this. Now we have to find this. Okay, this is part of a bigger circle. So the diameter is actually 28 times 2, 56. Okay, so we're going to find circumference of big quadrant. So quadrant, so I need to put 1/4 times pi, which is 22 out of 7, times d, which is 56. Okay, 8, 2, 44. Right, so 44 plus 88, 132. Okay, so 44 plus 88 is 132 cm. Okay, well, we still have part C over here. 19 of such shaded figures will use to form a repeated pattern. 19 of this, so like that, okay. The arrangements of the first 8 and last 3 shaded figures on the figures on the cloth are shown in figure 2. Okay, first 8 and last 3, there were 19. Find the length of the piece of cloth. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's try to find that, hey, this is repeated. Okay, so there are 19 of them. Okay, and this is the last 3. So I assume that this portion over here would be like this. Okay, so there'll be 4 of them, there'll be 4 of them, 4 of them, 4 of them, many 4 of them, don't know how many 4 of them, and it will end off with the 3 of them. Okay, so 19 minus 3, we get 16. 16 divided by 4, we get 4. So they're actually divided by 4 over here. There are 4 groups. Okay, there are 4 groups. This is one group. One group has 4. 19 minus away this 3, from here to here, there are 16 of these 4s. Okay, so there are 4 groups. 4 groups, all right? Let's just take a look at this one group. Let's zoom into one group. They want to find the length. So we need to know from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here, from here to here, here to here, and here to here. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go back and take a look. This portion here is 28, whereas this portion here is 14. Okay, so there's a 14 here. It's a 14, 14, 14. Therefore 14, and there are 28, 28, 2 after 28. Okay, 4 times 14 plus 28 times 2. That'll be 112. Okay, so there are 4 groups of this. For each group, this is 112 cm. There are 4 groups, so 4 times 112, there'll be 448. But let's not forget about this one. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so there is a 14. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3. 3 times 14 plus 2 times 28. So there's 1 less 14. Okay, that will be 98. So from here to here is 98. So let's add 448 plus 98 together. That will be the full length. 546 cm. Okay, 546 cm. Right, we're done with this question. The very last question, part C, is a very interesting very interesting question that will really make students think. Okay, hope you benefited from all of my solutions, and all the best for the next paper.